Whether you take Dwayne from his time through, or even the games where Chugs had to step in versus up north. So guys have to find ways to be creative, to find reps, whether it's standing in the back, taking those middle reps behind the snap.
Not that you guys have had any trouble recruiting quarterbacks, but how much does it help now that you can, when you recruit kids, you can say, our last three starting quarterbacks were the top 15 overall picks in the NFL draft?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps. But Ohio State's a special place, right? Like, it's always been a special place, and it's always going to continue to be a special place. And then really just the pieces that we surround you with as a quarterback. And then, it's been pretty good to have those guys. I mean, Justin, and he's going to kill it this year, and I can't wait to see what CJ is going to do. I mean, he's already lighting it up, I know for sure, and so it's exciting for those guys, definitely.
Was that fun for you after all this? Go ahead.
What was like CJ going number 2?
Oh, so I mean, it was such a cool experience. I mean, I love CJ to death. He is by far one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. He loves football. He loves the grind. He loves the game. And he's going to be successful at the next level, and it's going to be awesome to see what he does for sure.
There's all those rumors out there, and people were knocking him, saying he was going to fall, saying he failed this test and all that. Was that frustrating to hear that? And how nice was it for you, for your guy to go number 2 overall?
It was really cool, right? Just because I know the amount of effort that he put in, and it does make you laugh with the things that they were saying. It's like that couldn't be any further from what CJ is. I mean, he's probably one of the smartest guys that I've ever been around when it comes to understanding football, understanding the offense, understanding, coverage, defensive recognition. And so when you hear all those things kind of being said, like, I'm sure there's a little strategy and a little gamesmanship behind it.
Is that what, kind of to build off that, CJ was the second pick, Justin's the 11th pick, Dwayne, Rusty Soul, 15th pick. All those guys got to New York, CJ got there multiple times. That's kind of the standard now of what Ohio State starting quarterback is. It's not just being good, you have to basically be potentially the best player in the country. Is that why maybe it takes a little bit longer to figure out who the starter is going to be? Because they're not necessarily competing against each other. They're competing against a standard that's kind of almost unrealistic even if you keep meeting.
No, that's definitely a great question. There is a standard at Ohio State. A lot of great guys in front of them, and they understand. They're all competitive guys. Like, they see what it takes. They saw the effort that CJ put in. They know what it takes to be a great quarterback. And so, no, I definitely, there's definitely a standard that those guys want to uphold for themselves, for sure.
Corey, what's the process been like of working with Lincoln and him prepared to come in here?
There's creative ways and creative things that we do to make sure that he gets caught up. I know he's playing baseball. I know he's, I laugh at him. I was like, man, you're throwing no hitters, man. You got to come in here and get ready to play some football. So we're excited to get him here next week, and it'll be good.
Obviously, the last few freshmen who've come in have been early enrollees. How's maybe the acclimation process different for a quarterback coming in the summer?
Yeah, and I keep saying it, but the actual getting the reps, like, that's the best way to, work your craft. But there's ways, sending playbooks, talking about the playbooks, diving into film studies. You can do a lot of things now in today's world, especially, with Zoom, and Zoom's a second nature to them, so you can be creative with some certain things.
Are the goals different for a guy that's coming in mid-year than maybe it would be for a guy coming in January?
I don't know if the goals are ever different, right? Like, you obviously have goals and you have benchmarks, and the process might be a little different, but we'll definitely get them caught up so he's ready to go.
Did Lincoln have the option to